Thank you for coming back. Episode number 4 is part 2 from last week's episode 3. Enjoy.
So, my question, after the revelations we have just had about each other and where we feel we are at
On this invisible totem pole.
right, so now that we know where we're at as individuals here in this room, as far as the relationships that you have found yourself in or wish to be in, what have you found out about yourself that you wanted in that relationship, and what things have you found out that you actually needed from someone else in that relationship? Candy?
Oh, I'm first.
You're the guest. Guest first, because Marie's over here shaking her head. So I can only imagine what she's about to lay down on us.
Rephrase the question. What is the question? What have I found?
After we've revealed some of our background of how we feel about ourselves, now knowing what we know about ourselves, what do we feel that we need from a significant other now, or what we have thought we needed, or what we thought we may have needed from a significant other in present, past, or future relationships?
Can we say, based on what we have discovered about ourselves now, is it in any relation to what someone else can bring to the table? Because whatever we have going on with us now is going on with us. I don't know if a significant other can step in and, well, I'll take that back. I was going to say, with this invisible totem pole that's getting on everyone's nerves, can someone come in and pick you up off of that pole?
Well, that's
or
not.
Is that some work that has to be done within yourself?
Is that what you needed? That's what I'm saying. It's not about what the person can offer. It all depends on how you're looking at a relationship. If you're looking at a relationship for someone to come and fix you, then what is it that you want them to fix? If you're looking at a relationship with somebody who can compliment you as you grow, what is it that you're looking for them to compliment you on? I'm saying, as the person that you are, and you've recognized the things that you excel at as far as in a relationship, and things that you are still learning to do, what is it that you would hope to find in a significant other that could either help you grow into the person that you want to be, change with you, or change you? However you look at your relationship. I don't know, but
I just for me,
from the dating perspective,
where I've been to where I am now, I have always been a helpmate in a relationship. Like, I feel like I bring to the table what somebody needs. Like, I'm a nurturer. I help them get from one point to the other one.
I agree.
I now need somebody to help me.
That same energy.
I need that same energy.
Would you say, because I've experienced it can be a thin line, have you been a helpmate or an enabler?
Oh,
an enabler.
Good one.
And once enabling, has it helped the relationship, the person, you, yourself, whatever?
No. Me being an enabler has not helped this person at all. It just makes me feel like I'm not doing enough when I'm doing more than what I should have been.
So what do you feel, Marie? 'Cause you're so expressive. If you could see your expressions. Go ahead. What do you have to say?
I can say that I would be close to Candy's answer. I have always been that helpmate as well. I have learned throughout my experience that there is a such thing called an enabler, that a lot of my actions have turned into enabling with certain relationships in my track record. And with that, same thing, it doesn't help anybody.
No.
But you can choose to learn from it. My enabling experience has shown me and has answered questions as well, to where it can lead other people to feel useless, because you go from helping and enabling, and it could kind of make you look controlling, or as if you just take over everything.
I had that same experience. Like, people feel like I'm controlling and cold and hard to deal with, when I don't see it that way at all. I see it as this is what you are lacking, so this is where I gotta fill up at. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to come off as controlling and cold because I don't feel like I am that, but that's
Because
what
if
you're
those-
lacking.
if
That's
those
what you're gonna
areas
see me
were
as.
filled, you
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
step
I
in.
want to be a princess so bad it don't make no sense. I've never been a princess. I've always been looked at as this cold, strong, hard person, and let me be a princess then. Step in the role where I feel protected and soft enough to be that.
And that kind of goes back to the beginning question I started off with, to where, again, I can't remember the right quote, but Black women shouldn't have to struggle to finally feel accepted or loved, because it's that kind of framework I'm trying to talk about. It's there and it's wanted for some. Everybody is different.
Mm-hmm.
Some women are fine in that role, and that's great. Clearly you're not, Candi.
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows I'm not. It's there. It's an option and it's wanted. But I think having that kind of personality where you're used to helping, you're used to, all right, I'll get it together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do this. I'll do that. And then, goodness, if it's matched with independent,
Hello.
you're bound to be looked at a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You just take over. You always in charge. You control everything. No. If I didn't have to do it,
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't be doing it.
Somebody say something.
It's left open. It needs to be done. And in some instances, both parties want it to be done, but who doing it? Ain't nobody doing it. Okay, I'll step up. I'll do it. Then you find yourself doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And once you find yourself doing everything, now you're an enabler, because it can lead the other person to get comfortable in that there's no reason for them to step up to do it, because why? You'll do it all.
I always felt like I'm always helping or stepping in that role to where it was a point where when I felt attracted to somebody, the next question is, what's wrong with this person? What do they need from me? Mm-hmm. Because I've always been in that position. Like, this person needs something from me. That's why I feel attracted to them. Like, what is it? It's always something. I don't know what that is.
It can go back to, I guess, how we view ourselves again. That then leaks into our outlook of what we're looking for. That'll be a question. Is there a connection between how you stated you felt about yourself, that's your opinion, versus what you look for in someone? Mm-hmm. If you see, when you see potential versus the realistic situation, would you lean more towards the potential?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know. For me, I think it goes back to, again, me wanting to be able to feel and express my soft side. Goes back to me personally not having my father show me that I can be that. Not treating me like a father is supposed. Like, he didn't show up. He didn't show up. Like, your first love as a little girl is your father. I looked at him like a king, like a hero, until I growed up and realized, wait a minute, he ain't shit. He ain't. And that's a hard pill to swallow when you feel, you see your father differently. I don't know how to be a princess because I wasn't taught to be one. All I know is strong women. So that's what I am.
And this dates back a very long time of, households breaking up, and here comes these single mothers raising children. That's all that is seen. Mm-hmm. That is where I learned some years ago that is where my preference comes from. My preference, when I wrote down what I would prefer in a man, I realized I was describing my father.
And that's who, my last relationship, that's who he was. My daddy all over again.
But it was crazy because especially growing up, I've seen some, not even all, because now my father and I are now trying to build a relationship, and I'm seeing him in a different light as an adult. But at that time, I couldn't see myself describing my father. However, look-wise, I was describing my father. Come to find out, personality-wise, in so many ways, I married my father when I look at some characteristics of my husband. And at the same time, I learned that the reason why I leaned into that so much is because I was trying to find something that I didn't have. My preference is set up in hopes to give me security and protection. And somewhere along the line, I felt as if I look for these particular things that I say I like, I would find someone that would protect me and that would build security for me. Mm-hmm. And once I figured that out, I started to question my entire preference. Do I really like what I like? Or is this just what I've always wanted security and protection, but I kind of found it more in men who look like this, or hope to find it more in men that look like this. And it wasn't true. Mm-hmm. Personally, for me, I realized that I married my father, which I thought was totally unreachable when I heard some people talk about it. Mm-hmm. And the whole, oh, well, if you're a daughter that didn't have a father, and it's that whole stigma. So yeah, I don't see that. And then I realized, no, I married my father. Characteristics I started to see as years rolled by, I said, yep, this is my daddy to the T. What attracted me to this? I didn't like it in my daddy. I didn't like it in my daddy then. Why would I marry this?
And then you look at yourself like, are you serious? This is for real?
This is what I like? Are you sure? I was looking for something, and that's initially what I was looking for. I feel like these type of men are supposed to give these type of characteristics, and it's honestly not true.
I knew this was going to be a very big topic, which is why I chose it to be a category, because I knew we were going to hit a lot of things. And
I didn't expect half of this.
I didn't expect it, but I knew it was going to take us a minute to get to the point, because we are out here. We're at the point now. We still not even talking about relationships and love. We're talking about, at this point, how we've received love and how we were shown or not shown how to receive love as a Black woman.
Well, I mean, because at the end of the day, you can't give what you don't have. So a lot of times we might step into something trying to make this grow and make this happen, and only to realize that a lot of it still has to do with you or us, not even a lot of them.
So my original question was like, okay, we've tapped into the things that we realized that we've done or where we've grown from. And I'm trying for us to look forward and see, what is it that we're looking for now? And we're still here talking about what we didn't get and how it has shaped what we do or do not look for. And not in a very positive light, sis. I'm sorry. It's not very positive. And it's just showing me a lot about where we are.
Silver lining here.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Who's to say it's not positive? I think
a lot of conversation's positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it sheds a light on things that isn't always talked about.
That's the whole point of this show. I'm so thankful for you too that I'm able to have these conversations and listen to this, because you guys are connecting on a particular level that I cannot honestly say I've been on. So I'm hearing a completely different perspective, and it's just enlightening, I guess you could say. I am amazed at what we've been through, and we're only at this, lovely ripe age.
We ain't even talk about what we've been through yet.
Hello. Because, baby, some of these stories, not this podcast down.
Okay.
I've definitely learned a lot as well. I didn't think that you thought certain things, Candi. I learned a lot today. More about myself again. Mm-hmm. Some things I already kind of knew. I just never voiced it to anybody. That's, there's just certain things you've learned to deal with on your own. But I can kind of see what you're talking about, Tina, and saying we haven't even started to talk about love, the Black love or relationships or what have you, what we look for, what we hope to get, or anything like that. Because hell, we still a mess ourselves trying to get there. And once you kind of acknowledge and see and start to work on, which I think probably dives back into last week where you say, I think you said something to the effect of, what do you do once you find those areas to work on and all that kind of stuff? Well, all of those areas are in conjunction with what we're saying now. Because all of these areas will affect what you look for, what you hope to look for, what you hope to find, what you hope to get. This has been quite the roller coaster.
Let me tell you something today.
I have absolutely nothing to say. I am just taking it in because I don't know what to say.
I mean, that's the main reason why we even started this podcast, was for conversations like this. Because we talk like this. Well, maybe it's just me. Personally, I'm not sure if we've ever talked like this. We talk about a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. But to go into detail, to go into a lot of different aspects of certain stories.
I don't even think we've gotten that deep. I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
Now that you're thinking about it. But the different perspectives was the reason why we started this podcast. Because there's a lot of people who I'm sure have the same stories, deeper stories, but might not express them or have anyone to express them to. But once you can hear it and you realize that you are not the only one experiencing certain things. Now today, that was one of my taking aways from today, realizing I'm not the only one experiencing certain things, and learning that you, Candi, experienced the same thing or felt the same way about a particular subject. And that had a whole different take for me to start thinking things over within myself.
So I have a lighter question.
Here we go. Let's see how light this is gonna be.
I want to incorporate music because sometimes there's certain songs that kind of get you through certain emotions. What's a song that kind of hits you differently than what is expected when people play it?
Give us an example.
I can't think of an example. One song that I would say it's not one of my favorites, but it hits me every single time I hear it. I believe the name is Ready for Love by India Irie.
That's my song.
And it hits me in a way that says, okay, I hear what she's saying, but I ain't ready. Because I don't think I am. But I want what she's asking for, but I don't think I'm ready for that.
It hits you differently from when it came out versus
no, it's
now.
Always hit me the same way.
Since it came out.
Always hit me the same way.
To this day.
Because I don't think I have ever loved like that.
Anything or anyone. Doesn't have to be in a relationship.
No, we're sticking with relationships. I'm not going anywhere outside of that. And the answer is no, it has not. I don't think I have had that kind of love.
Do you feel like you haven't had that kind of love because you're afraid?
Oh, there's a humongous wall
of it.
Yeah. There's too much to lose with that type of love. I don't think I've ever put my whole entire self into a relationship with anybody that I have. Anybody that I've dated, I don't think I have put my whole entire self into it.
And that is because of...
Shit, if I know. I just don't.
It could be a whole lot of things, like stuff you've seen in other relationships, stuff you just don't want, or you want but this person don't have it. And it could be a lot of reasons.
There's a lot of reasons. I think one of it is one of them is because I know me, and I can't. Okay, let me rephrase what I said. I don't think I've shown how much I've invested into a relationship. Because when I think about some of the things I've heard some of my exes say, it kind of came off to them as that I just didn't care what they did. Because I didn't react.
You didn't show a reaction.
Show what they were looking for, which I did, and...
Did you have a reaction to the situation in your relationship at that time?
My reactions...
Meaning, like, did you actually have emotions or feelings?
Of course I had emotions. Right. Of course, as a human being, I have emotions, I have feelings. But I feel like there's absolutely no way I would allow you to see me
vulnerable
or weak. So I kind of, like, if I'm hurt, I usually just stop talking. And I just draw within myself. And it's like, all right, either I think about, is it me? Like, am I taking this too personally, or is this just, they didn't mean it that way? Let me reevaluate how I'm going to respond or how I'm going to receive this treatment. And like I can get mad just like everybody else, but I don't stay mad for very long. I go up, I'm mad, I might talk a lot, but I don't necessarily talk.
Do
like
you
I'm mindful.
ever address it?
No, because usually I've already said, well, they didn't mean it that way. Like I've already talked myself off that cliff. It's done. And then I'm not mad anymore. But I do watch for it. So if I see it again, it's like, oh, okay, all right. That's the second time. And then if I see it a third time, I don't talk to you anymore. Like I've already been, all right, let's just X that out. Like I ghost. And that's been my issue, but I won't sit here and tell it. I'm trying to be more vocal about how I feel. So if I say something hurt me, I'm really hoping that you listen, because I'm not about to tell you twice. And that's just how I've handled all my relationships, even my friendships, even my things with my, my relationships with my family. I'll tell you, but I'm not going to tell you more than once. So that vulnerability that you guys are expressing and that you show to your significant other, I'm like, I could never. I am like, what? What? Wow. I'm over here blown away, because I'm like, I could never. I don't think my body would shut down. I don't think I could handle being that exposed and to be hurt. I don't like hurt.
Have you ever been vulnerable with anyone?
I've been vulnerable with friends and family, but that's about it. Like I could say I have deeper connections with my friends and my family than I've had with significant others.
What is the difference in your vulnerability?
I don't even know how to say it. Like I can have conversations with my friends like this. And usually when I'm with a significant other, usually starts off as a friend, because I'm completely oblivious to people. So if you like me, I don't know unless you tell me. And I will never make the first move. If I like you, I'll be like, all right, you cute. All right, you want to talk? Okay, friend. Everybody goes friends, So it's a weird thing. Like everyone's seen a certain level of vulnerability depending on how close our friendship is. But as far as like in a dating situation, somebody that I just met, never.
I guess I'm trying to ask, what allows you to be so comfortable to be vulnerable with certain people?
Time.
And not with.
So time.
If
you was with somebody for a year, then you can be vulnerable.
To an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah. It takes time to build a good friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes an exchange, to me, of that. If you're willing to be vulnerable with me, I am willing to be vulnerable with you. Now, even if I say that I don't think I've ever been that vulnerable with any of my relationships, I have reciprocated the same level of vulnerability that I've seen, because I'm not going to take that other person's vulnerability for granted. I won't misuse it or manipulate it to my own advantage, because it took a lot for them to get to, to show me that. So I can reciprocate, but I don't think I've ever been all in, like so deep, because I don't really think any of my relationships have lasted that long.
As long as
consecutively.
Okay.
Was that better? Because I saw the look, Marie.
I had questions. Okay, that makes more sense. My vulnerability is my downfall.
Is your downfall?
That is what I've, in most recent times, feel about myself. My vulnerability is my downfall.
But that's probably why I think about it that way too.
I know that can be coming from a place of hurt experiences I've had, because it can be a good quality. I know for me, it probably is a good quality. But because of if I needed something to blame to put me in a situation, I blame my vulnerability. I sit and say, well, if I had not been so, if I did not do so, if I was more on the defense, if I was more cold, if I was more shut down, if I was more standoffish, this would have never happened.
And I'm the exact opposite. I look at my current situation. I said, well, if maybe I was more open, open and receptive to other people,
you wouldn't have all those tumbleweeds.
My goodness.
The disrespect. A little bit of water in there. The disrespect.
You're going to find the Facebook dating app versus the marketplace.
Put yourself on dating. I bet you.
I have been on a dating app. And
I'm talking about the Facebook one.
See? That's where it starts. It's right there. Next episode.
It sounds like it's so...
You should go on a date.
Oh, but it's so much effort. I feel like talking to people I don't know is so much effort. It takes so much effort to do.
I think with some people who you're not really clicking with, because there are some people who I've met and the conversation just flows effortlessly. But then there's some people where, you know, you got to carry it, or they carrying it and I'm not really interested, or they're not. It's just all who you click with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't see that happening for me on a dating app because I'm extremely dry on those things. I don't want to carry a conversation with anybody. That's the thing.
You might not have to carry it if it flows.
I don't want to have one. That's the thing. It's like talking to people is draining.
I think it's off of perspective.
I suppose.
How many dry people have you talked to?
It's not even.
Everybody dry.
It's not about whether they're. It's not about whether they're dry or wet. It's just. It's just like It's like the effort it takes
to get to know somebody.
Do I really want to do this? Like, if I pick up my phone and I see nobody has called, nobody has texted me, nothing, I'm like, bet I could put this phone over here and chill. But if people text me and it's like, and this has been the complaint about all my friends and family, I don't really respond as quickly to things as everyone would like to. I have missed conversations.
I feel that.
I can attest.
I have missed conversations and come in like 2 days later and be like,
one eternity later.
Oh, ha ha ha, LOL.
And then expect somebody to be on the same page you on. Man, we was over there yesterday. Come back.
I caught up. It just took me a couple of days. That's it. You know, I was in the mood to converse. So I got on and looked at and caught up. You know, so that's how I view conversation. I enjoy it with the people who I've already built a rapport with. But new people, it's like, oh, I gotta.
Well, I was new once upon a time.
To
y'all's situation.
Situation.
It wasn't hard to talk to me.
It's those statements.
I'm sorry to you guys' friendship.
It's those statements.
I was the new girl.
Us problems.
And I didn't have a problem speaking with you guys.
You didn't have to carry much conversation.
You're right. I didn't. I was already talking. I don't know. It's like those moments where I just don't think about you as a stranger.
Maybe because the way I came in, like, it was
Well, I'm going to be honest. If I see somebody that I want to get to know, I will get to know them. And, yeah, you know, Marie can attest to that, too, because that's precisely what I did to her.
No, now I think about it. That's right. Lord, you wouldn't leave me alone. I just wanted to be by myself.
And that was a no for me on that one. I have to be interested in getting to know you. And then I will be like, all right, I will put forth the effort. And that's pretty much what I did with most of the friends that I have.
So, I mean, both of you are practically saying the same thing, just in different ways. If you have some form of that connection, you don't mind putting in the effort. However, to be completely Now, does your vulnerability conflict with your commitment?
I don't understand what you mean by commitment. Like,
If you, because you said you feel as if you've never been all in. So if you're not all in, where does your commitment lie? And commitment doesn't have to mean I cheated or I stepped out or anything like that. Just how much you are involved and feeding that relationship. Does your vulnerability, because it takes you some time to completely open up as much as you have, does that conflict with how much you input into the relationship at all?
no, the same level of like, it's the same. If I'm putting this much effort into the relationship, this is how much commitment I put into the relationship. Now, I mean, in regards to cheating, I've never cheated on anyone.
Are you sure?
I'm
look
positive.
Like okay.
Can't think about it.
That came out kind
No,
of sketchy.
well, I've never cheated on anybody because it takes too much effort.
We need to get you some spinach. We gotta get your energy levels up.
It takes it's way too involved. It's like lying. Yeah, nah, I ain't got that kind of time or patience, and I'm not really that. Nope.
You ain't even putting all that effort into one person, let alone
Why would
two.
I go ahead and try to juggle two? No. So no, cheating has never been an issue with me. But it's like when I feel like if it's gonna take me too much effort, or not even if it's gonna take me too much effort, but if I feel like I'm going to switch my focus, like if I'm focused on myself, and then if I find myself in a relationship, and then I feel like the relationship is kind of gonna take it off of myself and kind of on us, that's no. I don't want to go there. You know.
So you hold back.
Yeah. Not saying that I'm selfish, because it's not about being selfish, but sometimes when you made if you focused on improving, you're not all the way at the place where you want to be, and you want to improve yourself. Sometimes, depending on the type of person that you're with, the relationship starts to make, like, you go from improving just yourself to saying, okay, well, I'm improving myself. Hey, you want to come and improve with me? Oh, wait, you're not ready? Well, let me go back down to where the hell you're at, and let's just improve together.
Let's start being helpmates and enablers.
And then as soon as I find myself doing that, I'd be like, didn't I have shit to do? Okay, yeah, I'm good. let me worry about myself. Or if I feel like it's okay for me to give up stuff that I want to do stuff with you, but if I ask you, hey, can you do this with me? You're like, nah, I got something else to do. And I'd be like, oh, okay. That probably be the last time we talk. Because if you don't have that time to do something with me that would be outside of whatever you're scheduling for yourself, and I've done that for you, like I've changed plans for you, oh, that's only going to happen like maybe twice.
I think that can be kind of like a basis for any relationship, if that's what works for you.
I think it has to be fair. I don't feel like any one person in a relationship should be the only person that's giving up something. I think it has to be a compromise. And even when you are working on yourself, I think both of you can work on each other individually and together.
That just reminds me of this little snippet of a video of Eartha Kitt. When somebody asked her, what does she compromise to be in a relationship? And she was like, compromise? What am I compromising? You coming in to me. You want me. Why should I have to compromise for what you want?
I saw that, and I was like...
A man comes into my life and I have to compromise? You must think about that one again. For what? For what? A relationship is a relationship that has to be earned, not to compromise for. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes. But that doesn't really work in a relationship.
what
No,
I'm
it doesn't.
saying.
It doesn't. But like, why?
Because
Why
how does
should I
that
have to
happen
come? You
if
come
both
in, you
people
want
feel that
me.
way?
Y'all are not in a relationship. Y'all are friends.
It's like a business arrangement.
Right.
Well, even then, there's some form of
Yeah.
compromise.
Some give and take.
Okay, so
I mean,
now we're just talking about if there is no compromise in what I am and what I want and what I'm going to do, and I have no compromise for anyone else that comes in, you are literally just here for whatever reason I have.
Well, I think there's a difference. There's a difference in compromising and sacrificing. In compromising, at least there's some form of reciprocation. Sacrificing is when there's one party that is constantly giving and sacrificing their own, expecting the compromise, but never really getting it.
Right. That's not healthy.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and that is the type of relationship you won't find me in for long.
So in a way, I think we finally got there of what are some things that you may have wanted in a relationship, but maybe through having relationships, you found out what you really needed.
I don't know what I want, and I don't know what I need.
Maybe that's a plus that you're not on the app.
Right. I think I wanted to be loved. I wanted the same things that you guys want. When you say, I kind of want to be treated like a princess. But I'm not that kind of princess, though, you know?
But when I say princess, I don't necessarily feel like mean love. When I say I want to feel like a princess, I want to feel like I'm protected. Like, I don't have to be this large part of the relationship. Like, I want you to be aligned with me so I don't have to feel like I'm doing over what I should be doing.
What do you feel you should be doing?
Shit.
And that's the other thing I'm trying to say. It's like, how do we know what we're supposed to? We've seen, okay, we hear people talk about what role women should play, but we've seen the type of role, the examples that we've had are completely different than what we're told the type of role women should play. So what is it that we're supposed to be playing? And I don't know what it is, but I think whatever you're good at, the person that you're with should be complimenting you in that. Because nobody's going to be perfect. Nobody's going to be on all the time. But it should be at least try to be like a flowing. Like, where I lack, you might be stronger. And where I might be stronger, you may lack. But I'm not carrying you, but I am supporting you. You're not carrying me, but you're supporting me on the things that I lack. Yes. So I've had friendships that are like that, you know? So I don't see that what I would be asking for in a relationship is that hard.
It's a good point.
Okay. All right. So one of my influences as far as roles as women was my grandmother, who was married, and they remained married until death did them part. So that's one role I have. And then there's my mother's role, who raised me by herself, you know. So I don't know. I pick and choose whichever one I want at this point, which roles I choose to be in.
I think for me, being raised by mainly my mother and seeing her do a lot made it the norm for me to do a lot. So going into my relationships, I didn't see it as a problem to do a lot. Oh, you need me to do this? I can do that. I can do that. Oh, my resume is long. I can do a lot. However, knowing myself, I could only hold up for so long and get wary in between, especially if I'm not being fed anything else. So that is a realization I think I had to come to as I grew and going through my relationships, that even though I had various examples of relationships within my family, I've seen people married, still together, people not married, still together, people married and divorced multiple times, single all day, just all of that I've seen growing up. But I can say the consistent thing I've seen is you make it happen. You make it happen. You make it happen. You can make it work. You do. And you're constantly doing that. Became a hindrance in my relationships because I would do so much, I would outdo my mates. And then they felt insignificant. And I'm just like, well, what's the problem? I'm helping you. I thought I was helping, but it's like, no, there's something for me to do.
Yeah, I had to learn that also. I had to learn how to step back and let them try to figure out on their own, and then let them ask me if they can't figure it out. Because I was so used to, okay, you can't do it, I'll find somebody who can. Or I'll try to learn how to do it and do it. And then they come back like, why you did this and why you did that? Mm-hmm. And I was, you know what I'm saying, I was going to do it. And I was like, well, you couldn't do it at the time. So I just went on ahead and did it. So I had to tell myself, well, this person doesn't like when I just go ahead and do something when it needs to be done. So let me just step back and let them get it wrong. Not necessarily get it wrong. Let me step back and let them try to do it and realize that they can't do it, which I knew from the beginning you couldn't do it. And then come back and say, well, let's do it this way. If they feel like it's their suggestion, it's a whole different ball game.
Let's see. I can have my definitions wrong. I feel like that's ego.
It is.
And
it is.
I have learned I can be both an ego booster and an ego bruiser. And it's not that hard for me to bruise an ego. Mm-hmm. I can bruise the ego real quick.
Of course, those things are extremely fragile.
Fragile or not, just out the gate, I'll just shut it down. But I don't mean it with ill intent.
Yeah.
I mean it because I'm trying to partner up and say, we can both do this, let's go. I don't like, we just gonna sit here and wait because you want to feel like who got time to wait for you to feel like you can get it?
But that's just how it is sometimes. That's just how it is sometimes. I promise you, it's been many examples where when I sat back and let him try, and then he come back and, well, I couldn't do this. Everything flows smoother than me being just my regular self and just doing it. And then they come back and like, well, why you did that? I said I was going to do it.
And depending on, now flowing with you, Tina, depending on how vulnerable you've been, that will either take you down with that ship until it starts to float back up to the surface and they realize it, or you just sit at the surface and watch them go down and wait for them to come back up. I've done both by stepping back and letting them figure it out. But I think a lot of times when I become an enabler is when I know I don't want to sink. I'm tired of sinking. I feel like in my life, I'm always sinking. I don't want to go down again. So halfway down, I just start to do it and say, here, it's done. Let's just get back to the top. Because I don't want to go through this no more.
And then you're going to be arguing all the way to the top.
I'm going to be completely honest. I have no patience for that. If you say you're going to do something, I'm going to sit back and let you do it. If you don't do it, that'd be the last time you ever tell me you're going to say you're going to do something. I'm over it.
And because of that, I can see why it takes you time to become vulnerable with somebody. Because would you say that it works in conjunction with trust? Because if they said they're going to do it and they don't do it, do you trust that they'll do it again?
I am a trust person. I trust you. If you tell me that the sky is purple at 6 a.m., I believe you. I know it's not, but I'm going to believe you. You know why? 'Cause
you might see something I don't see.
Right. You know, I'm trusting you. I have no problems with trust. It's once you break that trust, I don't know what to tell you, bro, but you about to get your feelings hurt because I will never wait for you to do something again. That has happened to me so many times to the point where I don't, like, if you ever tell me, hey, all right, let's do such and such and such. And I'm like, oh, we're going to do this? Is this what we're doing? I'll ask you every day, you sure this is what you want to do? And that day comes and you didn't do it. That's the last day. That will be your last day. And you will come and you will ask me, hey, what happened? The same thing that happened when you said you was going to do something. That's what happened. That's where I've been. I'm still back there. And I see that that's kind of my problem. because I really have no patience for that.
So again, I'm wondering, how can we know, I guess this would be more for you, Candy, how can you know when you're doing so much? Like, what's the fine line between the princess and the enabler? Because there's nothing wrong in being a helpmate if you're truly helping.
Yeah. How do you when do you realize you've gone beyond just helping to just doing too much?
When I feel like I'm not being heard or felt or seen or just appreciated.
Yes.
When I feel like I'm not being appreciated.
How long does it take you to get there? Because, like I said, over the years, it's a short fuse for me. So
I can't put a timeline on it.
So the minute you begin to feel taken advantage of, you realize I did too much.
Yes. When they come to expect you to do, you know, did too much.
Them damn expectations. Oh, that's a whole nother show. Expectations, especially the hidden ones.
Expectations versus reality.
Well, this has been quite the show.
It's going to be a quite interesting few shows with our special guest, Candi Tacara. Because this is something that I want to really explore with the two of you, because this has been very enlightening. I've learned a lot about you, Candy.
Have you?
And I appreciate our friendship even more now.
I appreciate it too.
And as usual, Marie, I appreciate your friendship.
I don't want to explore anymore.
Oh.
Wait. That's the purpose of the you said.
Right now, we've just gotten a deeper look. It isn't as deep as it could go, but pause on that statement. That's gonna be interesting. But I want to continue this. I feel like I have a better understanding, which would come for better topics.
A better understanding of what? Of yourself?
No, I don't have a better understanding of myself.
Okay. All right.
Not at all. Not at
Not
all.
a surprise.
It's yeah. You shouldn't be surprised at all. Especially, I don't know what, like, sitting here and listening to your guys' thoughts and feelings. I'm like, shit, I don't know what the hell I want. I don't know who the hell I am at this point. I'm just sitting here listening. I'm like, shit, I don't.
But we still can't get to that point of what are you looking for or realize what you need.
I'm looking for Tina.
Because
that's who I'm looking for.
And that's where it should start.
At this
Everything
point,
should start with us. Or
can
with
you find Tina? It's like, where's Waldo up in this?
Once you locate yourself, you can then begin to say, okay, this is what I'm looking for, or this is my goal, or
but
this
when
is
do
that.
we ever really find ourselves? Because we're so we're constantly changing. When, as soon as you get comfortable with one portion of yourself, something else comes along, an experience or something comes along, and then it changes you.
You're right, but you should at least be able to form some form of a foundation for you to stand on, so that when certain changes come along, you're not shifted off of that balance, and now you got to go and rebuild your foundation and find yourself all over again.
If I had to just put what I wanted to the most basic things, I want somebody that I can count on. Loyalty is the most important thing for me. Loyalty and trust. If I can trust you to do what you say, I will love you for the rest of my life.
And that would make sense because you express how that can possibly affect your vulnerability.
That affects everything. If I can't trust you to do what you say you're going to do, I cannot feel secure. I cannot feel protected, because I'm always going to have to worry if I have to pick up where you drop. Because I can make myself feel secure and protected. I have no problem with that. I was raised to make myself feel secure and protected. But if you want me to open up and allow you into my security and my protection, you're going to have to be able to secure it and protect it yourself.
And again, I think that goes right back to what we just said of things that we viewed and things that we've seen, of how we've always seen this type of women, we'll say, to where I think it sets a bar for whomever it is that you're looking for to say, hey, you need to reach this bar up here in order for me to feel some kind of way. Would that be accurate in what you're saying?
To me?
Both of y'all.
Yeah, I guess. Right now, at this point.
Don't lower your bar.
No, I'm not lowering my bar. It's just like, I'm not sure if I want somebody to reach the bar. I'm cool where I'm at right now.
You're not ready. Like, are you ready for that?
Yeah, it's a lot.
That is what makes
me
it
right
so
now.
scary. When I hear that song and she's talking about those things, this is the person she wants to have, she's ready for that love. Am I ready to bring this wall down and just let you call all up in my secured and protected environment? Because it's Fort Knox up in here. Not just anybody getting up in here. And, once you're in there, it's like, nigga.
Don't drop the ball now.
Don't drop the ball.
I can't imagine what would happen if you dropped the ball. I don't even know who that person is if
that
you
a
drop
lot of
this ball.
Expectations to put onto someone, though.
But are you vocalizing those expectations? Because that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be very honest about a relationship and say, like, okay, this is what you're getting into, or I'm at this point where I'm expressing myself to you. Now, I've heard people like, oh, men can't take this and men can't take that. Well, if they can't take it, then I don't really need to be with you.
Then as you're growing, can you say that you could kind of weed out what you need and what you want?
I want to be able to share with you. If I can't share with you and you can't reciprocate, then why are we together? If I can talk to my friends, but I can't talk to you about how I feel, why are we together?
So you do have some foundation there to where you could say, this is currently what I have. You can put those, what you want, on the board as you're continuing to work on Tina. You have something down. It's not
right.
all dry land.
That's the thing, though. And I'm apparently, I give too much information of where I'm at very early in the relationship. Because I don't really have time. Like I said, it's a lot of effort for me. So I don't want you to misunderstand things that I do, because it's not that I don't care about you. These are things I need to fix about myself. So if I say I don't text back right away, I don't. I will not. I will miss texts. I will miss phone calls. Unfortunately, that's me. That has always been me. It's not personal. I just don't be on my phone like that. But if you want to find me, I am always home. If I don't answer my phone, or if I haven't texted you back, I am probably at home asleep. So it's like, one thing I could say, you would probably feel confident. If I'm not with you, I'm probably at home. So you don't have to worry about me being out here on these streets or talking to some, like, there should be no reason why you would feel as if I am somewhere I'm not supposed to be. Because I'll tell you if I'm going somewhere or what my plans are.
So communication. You also need communication. As long as you can communicate with them and they take that time to understand who you are at that time, that you would hope works out into a positive.
Yes.
Candi.
See.
Forgot to mention how bilingual you are.
I'm not even going to go into that.
First of all, I'm very bilingual. Thank you. I know about 5 words.
That is a great achievement over the year. So, is there anything you can see at this stage of where you are right now that you would want, considering not overdoing, not lowering your bar, or having these men climb extra ladders to get to your bar? At this point, just basic things that you may see that you can put out there to say, yeah, this is what I used to want, but I realize this is what I would need.
Go ahead, Candi. Answer that question, because I got a question of my own after that.
I need stability. I need for you to be on your shit the same way I'm on my shit. Because I don't understand how, when I was at a point where I didn't have a job and I didn't have this and I didn't have that, I did not feel attractive. I did not feel like I wanted to be with somebody. I don't understand how somebody can just be out here with nothing and want somebody.
Oh, because we can grow together.
No, baby.
We can hit this unemployment line together.
We both get $275 a week. What would we, like, no. I just need somebody who is on their shit, like, stable. Right now, that's what I need.
My question is, what is this bar that you're talking about, and why would she ever think about lowering it for somebody to climb up? It's who?
You have some individuals that after some time of not finding whatever.
As far as lowering your standards, I feel like you should have a standard, a basic. There's absolutely no reason for you to deal with somebody who's not even on that basic level. Like, I mean, are you really asking for so much for somebody who has a job and wants to continue to improve in the direction or field that they're in?
For some people, yes. But clearly those are the people that doesn't meet your where you at.
But I'm saying but that's what I'm trying to say. It's like you don't even need to be with that person if that's not where you're at. If that's not where you're at least meet the same level of what you're asking for. So if I have a job, I have my own car, I have a roof over my head.
Mm-hmm. You would hope that they got a job.
I would hope
working on a car.
At least working on a car.
No, we're not working on a car. Just get a car. Have a car. Because working on a car means you're not there yet. Holler at me when you get the whip. I appreciate your
like, yeah,
your
mirror
hustle.
me. If I have a job, car, house, why you can't have a job, car, and house? Basic.
Right. I don't
Standard.
necessarily.
That is currently your
Basic.
I will even.
I think our basics change as we may grow.
Yes.
And exactly, but that's what I'm trying to say. Somebody should be at least mirroring what you're doing. As you're growing, you want to be with someone who's growing in the same direction or general direction as you. Because let's just say you're growing and you start off with this person, but they don't show that they wanted to grow past what they have. Now you're with this person, you are trying to get to the next level, and that person is quite comfortable with where you're at. What do? Or if you lowered your standards, if you say, okay, I'm at this level, but you working on this and you're working on that. Okay.
I can help you get there.
Hell no, I'm not going to help you get there. I'm not even going to help you.
If we already in an established relationship, then yes, I can help you.
I'm not even going to help you get to work.
You?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Bitch.
Even if
I'm not doing that shit more.
Why did you even...
I did it before.
But why did you even establish a relationship with that person? What other reasons can... That's what I'm trying to say. Then those reasons have to be more important than your basics.
I think that was where we were trying to get. What were some things that you wanted? You saw some.
I mean,
things,
I want a lot of things,
and it's like, okay, this is what I want. But then as you grow, you're like, you know what? This is actually what I need. What I wanted at that time it didn't get me nowhere. I'm realizing now that I might have a want, but this is what I need. So there was something else there at that time that you wanted. That you wanted.
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. It sounds like.
And that's why you were like, it's all right. You working on it.
Yes.
You got potential.
Potential, baby. That's what I was working with.
Well, I'm looking for someone to look at my potential.
I don't need potential.
Come help me. Come help
me. See the potential in me.
Come look at my potential and show me how to grow, please. Because I'm about tired of... I'm not looking for no... Look, if your holler line to me is like, oh, I see my future baby mama, sir, you will never see me again. Absolutely not. Because that's not one of my goals in life, is to be your future baby mama. Unless I have no contact with you, and neither does my child, because all I want is the kid.
That's an arrangement.
Right. That's not one of my goals. So we already don't have anything in common. Now, if you look at me and say, you know what, I can see you as a future CEO. Oh, nigga, all right, well, okay. How? You got some ideas? Let's talk. Let's converse. That type of stuff is attractive to me. If I can learn something from you, I am.
Oh yes,
I am all into something.
That vulnerability kicks in.
No, that's absolutely not. It's not not the vulnerability, but you have piqued my interest enough to
put forth effort.
To put in some effort. I'll put in the effort. Learn what I can, because I guess this was your season, so let me learn what I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me learn what I can. And if it's your season to leave, I understand. No hard feelings.
Thank you for joining us on today's podcast of the Dialogue Podcast, aka
The D with Tina
and Marie, and this week's special guest being
Candi Tacara.
Hope you enjoyed our dialogue today and that it was enlightening for you guys as much as it was for us.
Hope it wasn't too deep. Actually, I do hope it was deep. A very deep conversation, and the type of conversations I hope that we continue to have on this program.
Be sure to give us some feedback. You can find us on Instagram at The Dialogue Podcast, or you can find us on our YouTube. Just search The Dialogue Podcast. And be sure to check out our guest today. You can follow her at...
You can follow me at Candi_Tacara on Instagram. And I am accepting DMs.
Oh, you just gonna put it out there.
Right in front.
All right. Well,
ain't nothing dry over there.
Thank you again for joining us for this week. Be sure to catch us next week.
Wednesday, hump day, 12 p.m.
New episode, Fresh D, just for you. So until then,
stay safe, stay blessed,
and we are still staying home
and having